It's raining in paradise. This is the kind of view that we have. But being in Yorkshire, a lot of it is obscured by cloud and rain. It's got nothing to do with what I'm about to say. I was really thinking about this. There's a huge central paradox in acting, or in life in general really, which is the mixture between action and experience. Because there's an increasing cultural belief that if I'm rich, I'm happy. So action, like you see on the internet, do this and you'll earn all this passive income and then you'll be wonderfully happy. You'll be sitting on your fat ass, contributing nothing to the economy whatsoever, not employing any people, but you should be happy because you're receiving all this passive income type bollocks. In training an actor, there's this very central paradox. And I think I was chatting to somebody yesterday and they were very nervous about taking the class because they've never acted before. And of course, they're worried about what they can do. And I said, well, a lot of it is actually to do with you applying yourself to the process. It's a bit like normally you go to an art class and they say, paint the apple. And I said, method is a bit like experience the apple, hold it, taste it, have a relationship with the apple, and then you might start to see how you're going to paint the apple. Now, this kind of yin and yang, because the major reason I was thinking about this was because I was looking at a psychometric test I did, and the psychometric test is founded in Jung. And Jung believed that people were unhappy because they weren't just because they suffered shit childhoods or whatever it was, or trauma of some kind. They were unhappy because they weren't being true to themselves. That they were born with an innate construct, psychological construct, purpose, need, capabilities. And if they weren't true to that, then they would be understandably upset. Because the unconscious would say, like, you're not being who you really are. You're not doing what nature or God or whatever, intended you to do. And I was looking at it, and what really struck me was a couple of things about training actors and also about myself, because I did a lot of training. And despite actually, technically I was a capable actor, particularly after I started training in method, I had big opportunities to really start moving my career forwards. But I kind of really acted out on it. I just couldn't handle it. And for a lot of time, I rooted that in my childhood. And, I felt it was more a kind of causality thing, that if these things hadn't happened in my childhood, then, blah, blah, blah. But then recently, re-evaluating that psychometric test, what it kind of said was, particularly I like structure. Not in a rigid way, but in a kind of formal way. And I have always thought that if the world that I left, and it was dying really, which was theatre, and the world I'd grown up in as an actor before I went to drama school was theatre, if I'd stayed around that, then maybe I would have got traction. But it also reflects why I like to direct, and it's why I like to teach, because I can define the structure. It also says I invariably a type of person who likes to work by myself because I don't trust many people. And if I do, they have to really agree. We have to be on the same page. And when I was really looking at it, I was thinking, wow, a lot of this isn't nurture stuff. This is nature stuff. And then I thought about acting, because acting isn't one thing. This is why, again, I would advocate you take a class with me or with a teacher that's this way inclined to consider experimentation and exploration, because acting can be many things. You can want to be a star, right? You could want to literally try and hit the summits, be a big industry player, right? Or you could be an actor who does particularly want to be in a company, and you could be an actor who wants to have spin many plates and produce and direct it. There are different things that you can do with creativity. But of course, to be creative, you have to be honest. And this is always, I have problems when I interact with students who are not honest about what their agendas are, and are their agendas true to what they really want to do. And that's the work. That's why Stanislavski, I think, fell on the notion of the actor's instrument. I think that's why Strasberg was particularly focused upon relaxation and sense memory and the primary relationship with the actor themselves before they went on to develop the skill sets and the craft to reveal the life of another human being, was because there's an important active dialogue to have with the experience of being creative. I mean, this is palpable to me. When I used to go to auditions, I used to be physically ill afterwards because it seemed to kind of be forcing myself to something that wasn't there in my own nature. But and also I was very self-aware. I was like, then egos and agendas, and then the nurture thing, my insecurities would kick in and I would try to prove, and I felt kind of like, oh, the world doesn't appreciate me, so I'll prove them wrong. And that was my history as a child. That was being packed off to crap schools and all that kind of stuff. But the reality was, it wasn't actually my nurture really acting out. It was my nature, because when I would teach or I'd direct, I didn't have to second guess myself. Words would come out of my mouth. I didn't even think. They would just formulate. Like now, I'm free associating. I'm talking with you. I'm relating to you in the moment. And I think it's that in the moment which is rooted in experience. It's what Gabor Mate talks about, that gut feeling. Does it ring true? And this is very much what acting is. Whatever the construct and environment that you want to go in, and I really suggest you take a psychometric test of some kind and understand what environments are going to really support and nurture your capabilities and give you the opportunity to be true to yourself and contribute, or ones that actually, no matter what, you can rationalize, I have to do these things, but they're going to drive you up the wall. And that's why some people do want to be stars. They want to be entrepreneurs. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Very clear sense of somebody who wanted to actualize things on a profound level, very focused, very dedicated. So most important thing is, wherever you are in your relationship to acting, be experiential with it rather than simply active to acquire results. And it's this one other thing I want to say. Start reading plays, please. This is a bit of a segue, and I'll probably do something else, but if you can't love to read a story written in a form which is scripted, and learn to want to play that story or perform that story or reveal that story or explore that story, then why the hell are you an actor? Because then I think I wouldn't say that you want to actualize the world to be famous and successful, because that's true to your nature. I would say that's an insecurity and that's an ego issue. But read the plays, because if you read in the plays, if you learn to experience the plays and the scripts matter more to you than you're on a far better footing to bring your skill sets to the work. Oh look, there's a bit of blue sky. It's come out. See? Be true to yourself and nature will reward you. Alright, hope you have a good day. Bye.